morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day or weekend out there. And I have a special guest with you today. If you're watching live on Facebook, you may think I'm getting ready to be arrested. And I hope that's not true, but I do have Melvin with the Shelby Police Department sitting beside me, fully dressed in uniform and armed and ready to go to protect you from scams, you and your family. That's what the show's about today, is protecting seniors and their family from scams out there in the community. And thank you everybody who's listening to the Elder Law Report. Good morning, Officer Melvin. How are you doing?
Doing fine.
How should I address you? Officer Melvin, Sergeant Melvin, Captain Melvin?
Oh, I'm just Officer Melvin.
Officer Melvin. Okay, we'll do that. Matt, I appreciate everything you do in the community.
Thank you.
And protecting us out there, and can't wait to do our show today. And Hayden Soloway is here with us today as well.
Greg.
Good morning, Hayden. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
I know. You're always doing well. You're always in a good mood. Even when I'm nervous before a show and trying to figure out, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing that? You're just like, let's just do it.
No, I'm nervous too.
You're not nervous.
Yeah.
I don't think you get nervous.
Yeah, I do.
So, thank you for all the listeners of the Elder Law Report. I was visiting in home with someone yesterday who is a fan and a listener of the Elder Law Report. I was in Cherryville visiting with a gentleman who will remain nameless because we never discuss our clients' names, but I really enjoyed meeting with you. He had read our book, Saving the Farm. I read my book, Saving the Farm, and we brought him an extra copy out there. So, if you ever need us or need to ask us any questions or us to visit in home to answer any questions regarding you or your family, Hayden, how do they reach us? How should they reach out?
They can call our office at 704-259-7040, and anyone there can make an appointment for you or address your needs. If you want to buy a book, we've got those, or we can tell you how to order them. Greg can give you both the names of the places other than Amazon, which is
Absolutely.
my home place for ordering everything.
Absolutely. So also, Hayden's happy place.
Yeah.
Hayden's Corner. What do you have for us today
Oh,
on St. Patty's
it
Day?
was just
You're
two.
wearing some green.
I am. I'm wearing shamrocks as well.
Why are you wearing
And
shamrocks
I'm
and why are you wearing green?
And I'm wearing a claddagh.
And you
Which
go,
is a
what?
ring, a claddagh.
A claddagh?
C-L-A-D-A-G-H. But it's pronounced claddagh. You don't get the hard G on the end.
Claddagh. Claddagh. And it's a ring.
Yes. It's an Irish symbol. It shows two hands holding a heart with a crown over the heart. And it symbolizes faith, friendship, and loyalty. And
Well,
it's...
you exemplify faith, friendship, and loyalty. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you.
And Hayden, why are you wearing green? Why are you wearing a shamrock? And why are you wearing a claddagh? I mean, what does that mean?
Well, they're all Irish symbols, and
Right.
I thought about scams and St. Patrick's Day, and I thought about leprechauns and how they try to scam people out of the pot of gold that they have found, and
Sure.
they're tricksters. And so I just started reading about that, and I found out that the color green is worn because folklore says that you're invisible to leprechauns if you wear green.
Okay.
And
And what do leprechauns do?
they trick you.
They
pinch
trick you. They
Yes.
scam you, don't they?
Yes. They are a type of fairy, kind of ugly, solitary, bearded
Okay.
cobblers, and they protect that pot of gold.
Do I look like a leprechaun?
So,
No?
sorry.
Okay.
No.
All right, fine.
But I also started reading about St. Patrick's Day, and St. Patrick was a very, very important man. He was
He was a saint.
yes, and the reason he was sainted was because, let me see if it says here.
Is that what it's called? You're sainted?
I'm sorry, yeah.
You're like being knighted?
He created over 300 churches, baptized over 120,000 people.
Was he born in Ireland?
He was, no, actually.
He was
born
actually
in Scotland.
he was a Scot, wasn't he?
He was
Which is
born in-
odd that the patron saint of Ireland
He
is
was
actually a
Scot.
Scot.
Yes,
Yeah.
and by the way,
I am also a Scot.
things are not Scotch, they're Scottish. Scotch you drink, Scottish is related to
I didn't
Scotch.
say Scotch. I said
I know,
Scot.
but a lot of people do. They say
Okay.
it's Scottish.
Okay.
Just
Thank you for the clarification.
pass. But anyway, his parents were Romans, and he was enslaved, and became very, very religious over the period of years that he was enslaved. And there were many tales of miracles by St. Patrick, and resurrection stories were the ones that were most famous about him. And he used the shamrock to visually demonstrate the Trinity of God the Father and the Holy Ghost. And so we use that symbol in honor of him, the shamrock.
Absolutely.
And
so that's why you're wearing shamrock.
That's why I'm wearing shamrock.
Are you Irish?
In green, yes.
I know you are. You're an Irish lady.
Yes. Well, got a little Scot in there, but
okay. Scotch Irish.
Yeah. My aunt did genealogy before they defined the word, I think, and went back and took rubbings of old headstones and traced her history back to Ireland, the Shannon clan.
Sure.
And then also on the Scott side to the Sykes clan. And we know what our family plaid is and our coat of arms. So.
Is there anything else that we need to know about St. Patty's Day and what we're doing today? And leprechauns, which we want to avoid, which Melvin, Officer Melvin's going to tell us how to avoid the leprechauns out there.
Well, wear green.
Wear green
yeah, the
every day.
leprechauns won't come pinch you.
Right, that's what they do. They pinch you if you're not wearing green.
Yeah, that's why people pinch each other when they don't wear green.
Gotcha.
You have green on in your tie.
I do.
And I'm safe. Matt, you're in trouble.
So,
Never thought about it.
You can pinch Officer Melvin.
Sorry.
He might not appreciate it.
No, he might not.
Anyway, that's the St. Patrick's Day information.
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah, be careful. Make sure it's not an unwanted touching out there if you pinch someone today. So,
Yes.
okay. So, thank you so much, Hayden. I appreciate that history of St. Patty's Day. Pretty much, people in America just get together and drink beer on St. Patrick's Day, I think.
Yes.
They dye the river green or something, right?
Yes. I think Savannah is one of the biggest.
My parents live in Savannah, Georgia, and
I
it's a
think
big
Washington
celebration
has the
down
big
there.
one.
There's no
New York,
doubt.
I think, has the biggest.
Does it really?
I think so.
Oh, Savannah's a huge celebration. My parents moved down there in 2002. They do. They dye the river green, and they have a big shindig down there. So, anyway, well, Officer Melvin. So, scams, seniors, their families, and how to avoid them. What can you tell us about that in your expertise?
Well, I've just spoke to a group of seniors the other day about some different scams we have going around, and there's no way to really give you a comprehensive list of all the scams.
Sure.
Because they're new, every day these guys are coming up with new scams. Some of the things really that you need to think about is if somebody calls and somebody offers you a lot of money, and you didn't solicit anything,
Sure.
that's for sure.
Should be a clue.
That is a clue that it's not something that it is most likely a scam. Publishers Clearinghouse scams. I mean, it's not Publishers Clearinghouse, but there are people that claim to be Publishers Clearinghouse, and they'll call, and they get your heartstrings, that your deepest desires to be rich. Just everybody wants some, everybody wants a lot of money, so they call, and they even in the back of your head you're thinking, this is not real, this is not right. And so they know that, they know how to play people. So it's very important that if it's too good to be true, just make sure that you check it out very carefully.
Okay.
Well, if someone is calling you, could you ask for a number to call them back?
You can.
Would that help you determine whether or not that was
In
legitimate?
some cases you can, but I recommend that you go to a third-party source to get a number for the company or the person, because they'll give you their number, and you can call it back as many times as you want to, and the scam artist will answer the phone.
So that might not be enough, because I can give you my number, right, and then you call back, and I'm going to answer the phone, right?
Yeah, and I would know to do that. Excuse me, I would know to do that with a credit card company or even the IRS, but.
So maybe go to the internet or go to a phone book or something and verify, hey, these are the actual phone number for these people. Then call them back if you want to give to them or find out if you want some money. I don't know. I used to get all these emails from, somebody trying to come from Kenya or some other place.
Right.
And all they needed me to do was to send them, a certain amount of money in a bank account or something like that. And my bank account numbers, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Bank account routing and account numbers, so that they could send me money. That's what it was.
Right.
And I've heard that if you do that, then somehow they get access and they can pull money out of your account.
They can. Yeah. And the other thing nowadays is your personal information is almost as important as the money in your account. Because not many people, your credit, your good credit is what they're trying to obtain. They're trying to get your social security number, your name, so they can apply for a credit card or they can apply for loans, and you won't know about it until you go apply for a loan, until you check your credit score.
Sure.
So, there a lot of them right now are trying to elicit personal information from you. So, and like you said, they can get into.
So
your
they
bank
could
account.
just be, instead of just saying, you won this money, this and that, they could say, hey, I need, all you have to do in order to get this money or in order to collect or us to send you a check is to give us your social security number.
Exactly.
Give us your age. Give us personal, your home address. And if they can put all that together, they can apply for, credit cards in your name and buy, half of Amazon out there, have it shipped to their house,
Exactly.
or whatever they're doing, or see if they can pull money out. And that's you hear about that happening all the time. I'm telling you, it's hard enough to just keep your credit card safe now, or a bank card. I've had over the last year a couple of times somebody get my number and I guess spend money all over the world, probably online,
Right.
and the banks will usually stop it. Their fraud department will catch it and shut it down very quickly. But that happens to all of us, not just seniors, but all of us.
I was just reading, just Googled.
Right.
There are 4 million people scammed each year. Now, I'm guessing that's larger because some people are embarrassed and don't want to tell
You're
people that
right.
they've been scammed. And I also did a little pre-study and found that young people are even more likely to be scammed than seniors. And I thought for sure seniors would have that hands down. Is that fall in with the information you have?
Well, I can speak for a community around Shelby because the seniors we have in Shelby are pretty shrewd.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll call and they'll say, listen, this guy called me and he's offered me money and said I want a Mercedes and $1 million, and I know it's not real,
Right.
and I just want to let you know so that you can get the information out to people.
So they'll tip you off so that you can get the info.
And really, that's what mostly what I'm going to end up doing, because a lot of this stuff is in
How do you put out that information? Do you put it out on Facebook or?
Facebook. If people will follow our Facebook page,
Right.
I keep. When we have a new scam come along, I'll post it on Facebook.
Sure.
We've got Nextdoor. We use Nextdoor, email, and if you don't use any of that stuff and you don't have a lot of technology, we'll come out and do a I go do presentations for it too.
So Matt, we're broadcast from Charlotte, and then we're rebroadcast in Hendersonville all the way past Asheville. So we cover the whole of Western North Carolina, and what would you say out there? I guess hopefully every community and their police departments are working with community members and have a hotline you can call and a Facebook page where you can put out that information. So I guess facilitating an easy way to put that information out in the public is a way to keep their community safe from scams.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
what it is. Being in regular communication with law enforcement, because we're
Sure.
kind of the clearinghouse for the information.
Right.
Because everybody calls us, everybody reports this stuff. And that's another thing. A lot of people do not report these things when they happen, and they really need to. Because the more reports we have, the easier it is for us to track it. And we may not be able to investigate all of them because, like you said, some of them are out of the country.
Sure.
But it helps us get the information out so that your neighbor doesn't fall prey to it.
Right. So I deal with seniors on a regular basis and their families. It's the meat of what I do as an elder law attorney. And I see seniors vulnerable in falling prey to family members more often than outside parties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you may have some experience with that too, where seniors calling like, hey, or families calling, hey, this family member may have a drug problem and is trying to take advantage of my grandmother,
Right.
okay, or my mom or dad or things like that, and a real way. There's a few ways, and a lot of times it's my understanding, law enforcement's hands are tied to a certain extent because it's a civil matter unless it gets into some kind of elder abuse or something like that, right? Or neglect or abuse situation. But the family can take action and have, number one, general durable powers of attorney in place so that the bank knows that this person, this trusted individual is appointed to handle all the financial matters, okay? So you lock that down and never appoint someone as your attorney. In fact, that's your agent under a general durable power of attorney to handle your personal business and legal affairs, things like that. Never appoint someone that you do not trust 100, 1,000%, okay? because if you have a question as to whether you trust them, you're handing them the keys to the kingdom to do anything that you can do, right? So you want to appoint someone who's really trusted. But it's important to have those in place because otherwise you're relegated to guardianship situations. Now, the courts, adult protective services through local social services, or your family members can bring, through an attorney like myself, can bring guardianship proceedings to appoint a guardian over a senior or anyone who may have issues with competency or incapacity, okay? So that they can handle their financial affairs. Guardianship is really more restrictive and protective than the general durable power of attorney. But the only issues you run into there is if you want to do protective planning and really, maximize healthcare benefits, things like that, then it's more restrictive because you have to petition the court to do anything, and the courts really aren't going to do anything but pay that money over for healthcare or something like that. It's just very restricted as to what you can do. And the guardianship statutes, and rightfully so, are just very protective and restrictive.
If a family member was taking advantage of
Right.
the general durable power of attorney and misusing it, would the police ever become involved in
That's a
something
great,
like that?
I don't, okay, not in my experience, because the criminal statutes are tougher to prove there. What you do is you could bring a guardianship proceeding or a petition to have that, I guess an injunction, to have that power of attorney nullified, okay? Or bring a guardianship proceeding to show that abuse. And in my experience too, if you let a bank know, a financial institution know, there's a problem, there's abuse here, then they're going to immediately stop whatever that person's doing until they can figure it out. Because it is a civil issue, okay?
That's a
And
good
what's that
thing
person?
to emphasize.
Yeah. So what's that person that's abusing that power of attorney? What's their recourse against the bank? Are they going to say, "Oh, well, this bank didn't let me rip off my grandmother or something, or my mom," right?
Sure.
I mean, there's no recourse there, really. They don't want to hash that out in court in front of a judge or a clerk. So the other family members need to act. Call 704-259-7040, or your local elder law or estate planning attorney, and get help, okay? And they can help direct you. Go to the clerk's office. Go to the police station. Ask what can I do?
Well, everybody within your hearing radius or the
Within earshot.
broadcast
Okay.
area, except South Carolina. You don't practice in South Carolina, of course.
I'm
but
not
you
licensed in South Carolina.
You have,
We may-
for state issues.
Right.
But you do
Fe-
have,
federal, sure.
you can refer to anyone who you need help.
We have attorneys we refer to all the time in South Carolina, and we do veterans aid and attendance nationwide.
Nationwide.
So, that's right. So anyway, so those are things. Other things are ladybird deeds and life estate deeds. Deed planning, one of the best ways to ensure that you retain control of your property for the rest of your life. Maximize healthcare benefits like Medicaid coming in and paying for assisted living or nursing home care, and the potential for that. And if that ever happened, to make sure those properties were protected against the Medicaid lien taking it when it passed through the estate. Okay, that's a great way to protect property too, is to do deed protection so the senior has control of it for the rest of their lives. But it also goes exactly to who they want it to go to, and there's never a chance that it gets taken away, even if they pass away. Okay.
You have all the information about all the documents and the protection mechanisms in your book, Saving the Farm.
I do.
Someone can
Or
use that.
call the office. Hayden, you could, or we could send them out a welcome package
Sure.
and have the house everything in there. Go to our website. You'll find all that information, mclraw.com. But enough about us. Let's talk. Let's get back to. I just wanted to throw in a few things that I deal with on a regular basis. I have used life estate deeds to block. It's interesting to block other family members, not just other family members, but I've had situations where seniors were being scammed by people coming by, getting in, saying, "I want to mow the lawn," and then ended up trying to get them to sign a deed over to the house and things like that. I've actually seen those situations before and acted to block those situations where we had the power of attorney of that person sign a life estate deed, create a life estate deed, keeping the senior in control of that property, but making it so the kids that it was going to go to had to sign off on the sale of that property. So it would prevent a third party from coming in and convincing mom, in that case, okay, from inadvertently or unknowingly or just unwittingly, because they have a nice gentleman who's trying to persuade them and they've loaned money to and it's not paying it back, and he's a good guy and he wants me to sign over the property, he needs it, so the family can block that but keep the senior in control by doing something called a life estate deed that separates the interest.
Yes, and then the child wouldn't even have to know that it was happening. It would automatically be there. The block would be there.
The block is there because you cannot sell the property unless the grantees, the future interest holders that would get the property, heaven forbid mom passed away, signed off on the deed. So if you've got someone with Alzheimer's, dementia, or just even slipping into a bit of senility, that's a great way to protect the property.
One of the things my father has done is blocked his credit, the credit rating services, so that he has to provide the information needed to unblock it for any credit to be established in his name. Now that's the only thing that I know of that can help prevent something. Are there other ways that you can actually prevent it?
Well, I mean, there's Aftermarket, there's products out there that you can buy that are like identity theft, LifeLock, things of that nature. That
do they work?
Yes.
I've never. I don't know, but I'm.
So a LifeLock product or something like that. I don't want to be a salesman for LifeLock.
Right.
I don't have any interest. Yeah, for a LifeLock or any other or a product like it. As I understand it, is a place where they monitor everything. Okay. And they can keep your passwords and all your things somehow secure. So you've got kind of one password into this LifeLock program, but it allows you to use all your products like credit cards and other things and passwords, but nobody else can get into it and see it. Okay? So a LifeLock situation and product. I have a friend of mine in Raleigh who's an estate planning attorney who I think actually advocates for LifeLock. We should look into that. We're going to look into that. Okay? We'll look into that and bring you some more information on a LifeLock style product and what it does for you and your family with asset protection, literally, with protecting that the money and the bank accounts and things like that. Okay, we'll do some research on that.
Matt, what are your best suggestions to help people
avoid scams? Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest things is if you didn't solicit, if you didn't call, if they called you, that's probably something I would be very, 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 very cautious of. If not, even just hang up. I mean, I'll almost to the point of just hanging up on these guys because, like you said about the guy cutting the grass, and
that's right.
These guys are, the old term confidence man.
It was a confidence thing.
They're trying to gain your confidence, and they're very good at what they do. They're very nice people. If you talk to them on the phone, they're pleasant.
They can turn a parent against the rest of the family. Okay, it can cause problems.
Right, and this is a lot of these guys' career. This is how they operate. So they're going to call you, and you're going to feel good about them. But right. I'm telling it's important that if they offer you something it just doesn't seem right, pity your stomach. But sometimes the pity your stomach is telling you the truth. Yeah. A lot of times it is.
Once you get one of these people in your family, it is a nightmare for the kids. How about that?
And we get the calls.
Yeah. We
just, like you said, there's civil issues. We're typically not able to be involved in it, and all we can do is refer. You'll have to go see a judge, an attorney.
Yeah.
It's not.
I know of one particular individual who shall remain unnamed and unreferenced in any way, who even after he sought counsel to help him prevent or to try to reclaim some of his money from a scam, bit again on a scam. He wanted to believe it so badly. This was different, in his own mind. So, I mean, they must be extremely persuasive. Let me ask you something else. I noticed on Facebook, sometimes I'll get a message, and it will just say hello. and it supposedly comes from somebody that I know. And it just sounded strange to me, so I just called that person. I said, did you just send me a message that said hello? And they said no. So somehow someone was trying to establish a dialogue somehow. So just strange things like that sometimes
Heaven
didn't
knows
feel right.
we use social media like crazy. So if you want to see anything regarding elder law or this show, go to our Facebook page. But I will get messages like that too from time to time. So you have to be careful on social media and be aware that there are people trying to scam. And I'll have people that I think are a friend or something, and I'll recognize the face, or they'll use someone's picture and create a fake profile, and they'll message me, and I'll send them something back. Oh yeah, how are you doing? And then they'll say, oh, have I told you about this opportunity or this thing or that, and it'll be a scam. They're trying to get me to start a dialogue. I think all they're wanting to do is start the conversation to see if I'll go back and forth with them and then see what they can get.
That's it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they've researched the person they're calling.
Mm-hmm.
They know
And
a
there's
little
a
bit
lot
about
to
your
know
family.
on
Right.
They
Facebook.
can find it online. They
Oh,
can
yeah.
find it on
They can
Facebook.
get into your pictures and
One scam some people have fallen for was they get the name of a lieutenant or something at a sheriff's office in Ohio or something and call and say, hey, your family member's in jail and we need some bail. He needs bail
Right.
money. Can you wire us some bail money?
Oh yeah.
And so they tell them all these. If they have all these steps you have to go through, go to Walmart and get a card and all that. So you just have to be aware that they can get personal information about you and you not know it, and they
Okay.
can call you and convince you that they know about your family.
So how can I get my wife to stop using my credit card?
I don't know about that. Are you a divorce lawyer? Or,
No, I don't need a divorce lawyer. No,
Okay,
don't.
all right.
Don't, Stephanie. I hope you're not listening.
I just either we don't have credit cards or I just give it to my wife.
Oh, okay. There you
That'll
go.
work.
Okay. How can I get her to let me use the credit card? That would be the better question. So,
Do you sweep? Do you do dishes?
I mean, yes, I do like doing
Well,
dishes.
she should already be letting
Oddly enough, I love doing dishes. That's
Okay.
a weird thing.
Well, you should be.
She likes to use the dishwasher, and I just like to, at the end of a hard day,
Right.
get the kids in there to help me wash and dry, and we just sit there and do the dishes.
That's good conversation too.
It's conversation time, plus I can actually accomplish something simple from beginning to end and say, I successfully accomplished that task, right? I don't know,
Right.
it just feels good. So Hayden, what do we have coming up?
Well, next week on this show, we're going to do what is elder law? The questions that people don't know to ask, questions that people do ask, we're going to answer them.
Okay, what is elder law? So how can people ask me questions?
They can call the radio station.
Well,
They
I'll tell you
can-
the greatest way I'd like them to do it, okay? Is we're going to put out on social media today, we're going to put out on our Facebook page the topic for next week's show. Respond back, give us your questions that you want me to answer regarding your situations, okay? And I will answer those questions on air, okay? And it has to be something that's generic. Can't be, I'm not going to answer it or name you or anything like that, but, hey, what's a ladybird bee? Or, hey, what happens if I do this, okay? I'll address those questions. We're gonna answer elder law situations and questions next week, okay? So thank you.
And it'll be interesting, because there's some interesting
There are some
situations,
interesting
things to
situations
know.
and questions. And thank you so much for listening out there. And it's close to quitting time, so Milton, if you'll play us out there, I'd appreciate it. And thank you so much for hosting us today, Milton.
Quite welcome, Greg.
And you guys have a great day out there. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Mr. Melvin, Officer Melvin. I appreciate you being
Anytime.
here.
Anytime.
If you want to listen to the after party, watch us on our Facebook
If
page.
you would like more information on the show today or the topics we discussed, or to contact myself, Hayden, or one of the other presenters, you can call us at Lawyer Greg 704-259-7040. You can make an appointment there or just schedule a consult or ask a question. You can sign up for our e-newsletter, which will clue you in to really, really nice content and information at mcelderlaw.com. mcelderlaw.com. Follow us on our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter at Lawyer Greg. Thanks so much for listening and watching today. Have a great day.
thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
We do this every week, and we just address a different topic and have a different guest and talk about something relevant to the community and seniors. That we've done that for the last couple of years. So.
That's
If you
great.
have any other
That's
information you
needed.
need to put out, let us know. Or if you want to come back and put out some information,
Okay.
please let us know.
Because that's a needed field to be in.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And the baby boomers are aging out, and they need,
Oh, yeah.
they need protection.
Yeah, that's all I do is estate planning and Omaha
Great.
for quite a few years now.
See, I'm still buying the farm, so I'm not.
Yeah, buy the
but,
farm.
But you know, eventually I'm gonna have to protect the farm too. So
Sure.
That's pretty.
I like that.
Good information, really.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
sir. I
sir.
appreciate
Maybe
it.
we need to get on an email list to get your scams,
You can,
or updated.
The easiest way, I'm
information.
telling you, is the Facebook page. So Jennifer Harrell manages Shelby PD's Facebook page. Okay?
Right.
And do you just shoot her an email or something like that? She
No,
goes out?
I posted.
Or you
directly,
have you have access. You just post directly up there.
I post directly. The other thing we use is Nextdoor, which if you're, are you in Uptown? Is your office Uptown?
It is, yeah. Sure.
You can, if you talk to
Uptown Shelby Association.
and you can get on their Nextdoor system.
Oh yeah.
And I post on there too. And
Okay.
it's a little bit more private, but it's the same thing.
Sure.
You're gonna get the same information.
Right.
Facebook, you can get on. I also put you on a Business Watch email,
Right.
and we send out that information.
There are neighborhood, kind of neighborhood leaders that I know. The chief will send out messages too all the time. I got my email list for that neighborhood. We got somebody that will send out messages from Chief Leonard all the time.
Okay.
So anyway.
That's what it's all about, is getting the word out.
Thank you for what you do, sir. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Matt,
Thank you. Nice to
very
meet
nice to
y'all.
meet you.
Yes,
And we'll, I'll edit this out. This went out live today. I'll edit it out a little bit and post it back up. It'll be posted, but then I'll post an edited version too and usually boost it from Charlotte to Asheville. We get about 10,000 views a week
Good.
over the show.
That's great.
So,
Great.
So thank you.
All right. Y'all have a
You're
great
making a
day.
difference.
See you.
Thank you.
Okay. That was good, Hayden. Hayden, that was good.
Good.
I was a bit nervous prior. But I always am. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.